every day we are faced with a steady stream of decisions, right? Do we wear the red patent leather shoes? Do we wear the sequins sneakers, right? Most of the decisions are pretty mundane like that. But some decisions are more important than others, and some will actually haunt you for the rest of your life if you haven't selected appropriately. Researchers at Cornell University, in fact, found that we make 226.7 decisions on food choices alone every single day. And every minute that we're driving, we make thousands of decisions, most of them without our knowledge, without even knowing it, really on a subconscious level, right? One of the things that I think we need to do very consciously, and that we probably don't think about enough, is thinking about our personal brand. What is our leadership brand? And that's really what I want to talk to you all about tonight. Leadership brand is probably one of the most important decisions you can make. It'll either make or break your career, but I think very few of us actually take the time to figure that out. I think many of us subscribe to Woody Allen's adage. His adage was 80% of success is just showing up, right? We've all heard that. So we think we show up at work day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and by golly, they're going to recognize my hard work and my dedication, and surely, I hope, that I will get promoted, recognized, and rewarded. But of course, we have to remind ourselves that hope is not a strategy. Planning and conscious action is the strategy, right? And I spend a lot of time thinking about Business First Leader. And it really doesn't mean you're all business and all boring, although some Business First Leaders are all business and all boring. It doesn't mean that you've made the choice of career over family, but it does mean that you always put the company or your customers before your team and before yourself. Now I know that probably sounds like a baby boomer generalization. That might have worked in your generation. That certainly doesn't work today, but I dare say I think it does work today. So what are the characteristics of a business first leader? So I have 5 that I like to talk through at a high level, and then we'll get into some strategies for transforming into a business first leader. The first is business first leaders are agile. They're both agile or nimble in both movement as well as in thought. So they're able to take large amounts of information, digest it, distill it, and present it in a very simple way. That's agility in action, that's being nimble in action. They're also able to bounce back, sway with the punches, so to speak, or pivot when any setbacks occur. The second trait I've observed in business first leaders is that they are lean. And by lean, I mean that they keep their teams and their organizations and their processes lean and nimble. They know that having bloated organizations or excess headcount or inefficient processes really slow them down and prevent them from being agile. The third characteristic that I've noticed is that they are effective. Not efficient, they could be efficient as well, but they're effective. They really focus on effectiveness. I think as women leaders, we tend to be very efficient. We love our to-do lists, and we love checking off all the things on our to-do list at the end of every day. It gives us a big sense of satisfaction, myself included. But we have to remind ourselves that being efficient is not necessarily being effective, right? If we're looking only at outputs and not really looking at outcomes, we're really looking at the wrong side of the equation. Peter Drucker, to use what Trey said earlier, I like Peter Drucker's quotes too. He says, management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. So that's a choice we can consciously make in the workplace. The fourth characteristic of a business first leader is they're accountable. They're not only accountable for the outcome of their project or their initiative or their programs or their department, but they're really accountable to the top and bottom line of the company. They've made that connection mentally and physically between what they do day in and day out, what their department does, and how it relates to both the top line growth of the company and the bottom line productivity or margins of the company. And they've made that very clear connection, and they've shared that with their team so they can all see how their work advances the cause of the company. And the fifth trait of a business first leader is that they are learning. They are lifelong learners. And I think that's a very important characteristic. Not only, you've heard of the 70-20-10 in learning and development, they have the 70-20-10 policy or rationale or whatever you want to call it. And they say 70% of all of our learning is done through on-the-job training, through experience. And that's usually true. So if you stay in the same job year after year, you're not getting the benefit of the on-the-job experience or on-the-job learning. 20% of your learning comes from mentors or coaches. And 10% of your learning is really self-initiated through webinars, through podcasts, through seminars such as this, conferences such as this, where you're really expanding your horizon. So a commitment to lifelong learning, I think, is a very key trait of a business first leader.